Yes, now everyone, welcome back to another episode of Australian Transfer News. And today, we don't have as many as last week, obviously. It's only been a week since we did the last one, but that means I can go a bit more in depth into every different transfer. Let's kick it off straight away. The first one we're going to talk about today is Tyrese Francois, who has joined Wigan Athletic after leaving Fulham in the off season. There was a bit of rumours linking him to move back to Australia with the Western Sydney Wanderers. His agent turned that down, and they've gone with another English club in Wigan Athletic. I think it's probably a good thing that he's staying over there, testing himself. I'm sure you'll see a lot more first team football with Wigan Athletic than he was at Fulham, definitely. But I think it's a good move for him. I think, staying over in England, testing himself that bit more, I think that's really positive towards his development as a footballer. All right, on to the next transfer, and it's an interesting one. Shay Cahill gone over to Nottingham Forest. Obviously, more of a youth signing for Nottingham Forest, you'd imagine, right? Couldn't really break out in the Brisbane Roar squad. Didn't really do a whole lot in the NPL space as well. Hopefully he can go over to Nottingham Forest, where he's played a bit more of his football over in Europe and in England especially. Hopefully Shay can go over there, recapture some form. Although he didn't perform overly well in the NPL Queensland, he did score a couple of cracking goals. But I'm sure for his sake and everyone's sake, he can find a bit more form back over in England with Nottingham Forest. Next one is Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. He has left the Newcastle Jets. He has gone over to Scotland to sign with Motherwell. Big move for Stamatolopoulos after just the one season in the A-League. It's good that the Newcastle Jets got a fee for him as well. I think that's really important. Didn't want to, lose him next off season after probably had a great second season in the league and lose him for absolutely nothing. There's probably nothing you want to see, but Stamatolopoulos over to Scotland, I think that's a great move for him. A lot of Aussies in that league, a lot of Aussies that do well in that league as well. So I think it's important for him to go somewhere where the football's not too dissimilar, but somewhere that he's still going to test himself and grow as a footballer. So great move, I reckon, for Apostolos. And the next transfer is one that we saw coming for a while, but it's finally been finalised over the past week. It's Jamie McLaren moving to Indian Super League club on Mahan Bargan, going to join over there with Tom Aldred, who has just joined the club as well. So a bit more Australian twinge going into there. Obviously, Tom Aldred's not Australian, but you got Jason Cummings, you got Dimi Petrados, a lot of A-League influence in that team at the very least. And you imagine he's going to go over there and light up the league like Jamie McLaren does. But it's an interesting move. I'm sure he'd be compensated very fairly by Mahan Bargan and the Indian Super League. So, it's an interesting move. He probably still has a few more years left in him if he stayed in the A-League. But, you got to get the money when you can, I guess. So, fair enough to Jamie McLaren. And, we'll see how this move pans out for his career. This week we have another couple of Aussies making their way over to the MLS. And we'll start with Finn Sermon, who's made his way over to the Portland Timbers after that absolutely amazing breakout season for Wellington Phoenix last year. Finn Sermon, a lot of movement away from Wellington Phoenix in this offseason. Alex Paulson, Božidar Krajev, Oscar Zavada, now Finn Sermon. A little bit of a rebuild there for Giancarlo Italiano, but we saw what he did with the little resources that he had last season. So you can only imagine what they're going to come out with in this upcoming season. But Finn Sermon is the latest one of those A-League players to make their way over to the MLS. Well, that was until a few days ago. Lockie Brook made his departure from Western Sydney Wanderers. He's moved over to Real Salt Lake over in the Utah in the MLS. Wanderers get a fee. Wellington also got a fee for Finn Sermon. So that's really key for these A-League clubs to get that fee for these players. You don't want them going to a better league on a free. make sure you get that money up front. So, a good couple of moves for these players, a couple of young players as well. So we're able to develop this talent now, or at least bring in this talent and then send it back out, like Lockie Brook coming back from Brentford. One season, he's already gone again. That's really key for these A-League clubs, and that's where the future of the league really is getting the fee for these young players. So a couple of good moves for some A-League players, and a couple of good fees coming in for some A-League clubs as well. Next one is a massive signing for the A-League, absolutely massive. Hiroki Saki has joined Auckland FC. He's been rumoured for probably a month or so by now, but it's finally gone through, finally be confirmed. The Japanese international, 74 caps for Japan, going to bring a lot of pedigree to that Auckland team, who's building quite an unbelievable team at the moment. Dan Hall, Saki, there's going to be, that defense is going to be absolutely insane from Auckland. But, he brings a lot of experience playing for Marseille, playing for Hanover. Most recently, he was at Red Diamonds, where he was there for the last 3 seasons. So a lot of international and professional experience coming into that Auckland squad. Can't do him any harm. Absolutely cannot do any harm at all. Another Australian moving to the MLS, Patrick Yazbek, has made his way over to Nashville FC after leaving Norwegian side Viking to make his way over to America, join the growing Aussie contingency in the MLS. The Aussies are taking over the MLS at the moment. Seems like every exciting young player is going over there. Hopefully, that can provide some more quality for Australians going forward, maybe help build the national team as well. But yeah, Patrick Yazbek, former Sydney FC player, leaves Norwegian side Viking to go to Nashville in the MLS. Now, for the last few minutes of this video, I thought it'd be fun to go over a few rumours that are circulating about both the A-League and Australians leaving the A-League, or maybe just moving around in Europe as well. Jacob Farrell, he's the first one. He looks likely to be joining Portsmouth. The next Australian over at Portsmouth, obviously you got Cassini Yengi, Semi Silvera over there at the moment. Maybe they could get Alex Robertson back as well. But yeah, Jacob Farrell looks like he is the next Australian to move overseas after a good few years at the Mariners, a treble-winning Mariner, and I'm sure he definitely deserves the move overseas. I think the Championship would be a great league to test himself in as well. And then another one coming from Adelaide. They are looking to sign Julian Quality, a young PSV or former PSV winger, 19 years of age. That would be an electric signing for Adelaide. Obviously, they've got that new PSV partnership, so maybe there's a way to kind of stay around the PSV system for him. But that sounds like that'd be an absolutely electric signing for Adelaide regardless. So that's one to keep an eye out for. Speaking of Aussies, Portsmouth, Alex Robertson apparently has caught the eye of Cardiff City over in the Championship, but they want him on a permanent move, and by the sounds of it, Manchester City only want to let him go on another loan. So it's going to be interesting to see where Alex Robertson ends up for this upcoming season, where he'll be loaned out to, or will Cardiff succeed and buy him outright? It's going to be interesting to see. But Alex Robertson, looking to find some more first team football is probably crucial for his development. I think we can all agree on that. And then we do it. There is all the latest Australian transfer news over the last week. If you have enjoyed, make sure you leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be doing these weekly up until the A-League teams are decided pretty much. And obviously, we've got a lot of Australian Cup content coming out over the next few weeks. A few vlogs coming out, and obviously we're going to do those predictions that they will be out on Monday as well. So stay tuned to the channel, because there's a lot of videos coming out very soon. But until next time, I'll see you soon.